Hi, thank you for joining us for this week's episode of the Thriving Artists Podcast. I am Dawn Tracy, your host, and I'm here with David Leonard. There's a joke. You missed it. Too bad. He is a writer, actor, director, location scout. And actually, I'm going to let him, I'm lazy. I'm going to let him do his own intro because mine pales in comparison to all the cool shit that he has done. Because you've worked with some big names, and if you look up his website on Film Freeway, it's gonna or his bio on free film. I can't speak. Film Freeway is gonna tell you all about this career that spans 2 decades, and you're like, how can that be? Because you're only 21.
Yes, exactly. Yes, 21.
So, David, it is so good to see you again.
Yeah, good to see you too.
You want to do your official introduction for the
Man, I
masses?
mean, I mean, you kind of laid it out. Yeah, I've been in the entertainment business for almost 30 years now.
Oh,
Um,
so Film Freeway isn't an updated bio. So
yeah,
now
well,
we're gonna add an
well, I'm
additional.
no, I mean, technically it's over 2 decades, so it still applies.
Okay.
But yeah, I've worked in entertainment both on the film side and the music side for many years. As you mentioned, I'm an actor. I've appeared in many independent films, several major broadcast shows. Um, I do theater. I'm actually in a play this weekend called When Silence Screams.
It's October 3rd and 4th, but by the time this gets out,
Yes, yeah,
you will
yeah.
you will have
Yeah,
missed it.
yeah, exactly. Um, but yeah, and then I do location scouting for a lot of the shows that film in Chicago, both episodic television series, films, just like The Shy. I've worked on Proven Innocent, Shameless, just to name a few. And I just currently started working on the upcoming reboot series of Barbershop, the
Woo!
popular movie franchise.
I am very
Yeah,
excited about Barbershop
yeah.
because is Ice Cube gonna make an appearance? I hope.
I don't know.
You know, tell us.
No,
Tell he
I don't
knows.
I don't know. But yeah, Barbershop is a Chicago staple. Funny enough, it's almost kind of like a full circle moment. I did not technically work on
The movie.
the movies that shot here because Barbershop 1 and 2 filmed here. The third one filmed in Atlanta.
There's a third one?
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
think I've seen the third one
yeah.
actually.
That's the one
Okay.
with Common and Nicki
Oh
Minaj
no,
and
okay. I did see that one
yeah,
then.
yeah. So that one
They
filmed
all
in
blur
Atlanta.
together. Okay. I
But
didn't know it was a trilogy.
yeah,
Okay. Okay.
but I knew a lot of people that worked on the crew for
Hmm.
both of the first two films, and so I assisted on the first film, getting some product placement stuff for one of my friends that worked in the art department.
Okay.
So I was able, to like go to the rap party and stuff. And then for the second one, I was a background extra. I was in two scenes. One of the scenes I'm actually seen in, but you wouldn't know it was me but there's a scene in the second movie where um, Cedric the Entertainer's character is talking about the riots that happened, and it's a
Mm,
flashback,
hmm.
and so it goes to black and white. And the first scene you see are these two guys throwing a cop on the back of a car and beating
I'd
him with
I'd
his
love to see
own
that.
baton.
I'd love
S-
to see that.
I'm
No, I'm kidding.
I'm the guy beating the cop with the baton. So
Whoa. So little Django Unchained,
yeah,
but
yeah,
modernized
right.
and
Yeah, so
okay.
yeah.
That's a featured background though. You better claim that credit. That's
Well,
not just
hey, well,
you're
you wouldn't know it was me, but yeah,
but you're beating
yeah,
the cop.
yeah.
And we do not condone
No, we did not.
violence
No, we did not.
on this
No,
show.
we did not.
But also,
Yeah.
I understand. Um, I'm so excited about that. So you're scouting locations
Yeah,
for barbershop,
yeah.
and we met, or I approached you because at the Midwest Film Fest screening, I fell in love with. So you know I'm going to talk about this because I do love your film, Scroll Food.
Yes.
Being in the psychiatric space and seeing kind of these what we call psychosocial and contextual factors play out in front of me. I just still want to give you your props because
I appreciate it.
that film is just so, so, so powerful. So can you please share my excitement with the rest of the
Yeah.
world for
Yeah.
that film because it's so poignant and just
Yeah.
gut punches you. That plot twist. I'm not gonna ruin it, but that
Yeah.
that plot twist at the end is just like
Yeah.
I'm still like,
Yeah.
okay. Tell
So,
us about how that came to be because I know you sat on it for a little bit, but then you got encouragement from your support system to
yeah.
pursue it.
Yeah, so Scroll Food came about during the pandemic. As a lot of people were, I was going through a very dark period during that time. Literally right before the world shut down, I lost my mom.
Oh.
And I'm my mom's only child. I have siblings from my dad's previous marriage, but I was my mom's only child.
Mhm.
So that really affected me. Shortly after that, had lost some other relatives, not necessarily due to the
Pandemic,
coronavirus,
but
but other factors. And so it was just a really really trying time, and I went to a really dark place during that period. So I was like, okay, I can't spiral because, fortunately I had, my wife and a support system at home, but I didn't want to spiral into just complete depression and destruction. So I was
mhm.
like, okay, how can I channel how I'm feeling into, some type of creative energy?
Mhm.
So I was like, okay, let me write down how I'm feeling. I already would do a little journaling, here and there,
Mhm.
but I wanted to do something different and take what I was feeling and turn it into a story. And so I was like, all right, let me see if I can turn this into a short film. So I based how I was feeling, what I was seeing going on in the world politically, with the George Floyd unrest, with everything that was going on with the new presidency at the time, and just all
Sorry.
of the hate and negative vitriol I was seeing on social media, and I wanted to like kind of like put all that together. So I came up with this idea for this script called Scroll Food, about this guy who was quarantined during the pandemic, and he was literally glued to his phone, just feeding his brain and his mind with all of these things that he was seeing online, and
Mhm.
how it had, a negative effect on him. Meanwhile, he's trying to reach out to the one person
That he
that could,
cares about,
yeah, that he
right.
cares about.
Yeah.
And, because we live in a world where, everything is text message, nobody, not a whole lot of people just pick up the phone,
GC
these days
does
to check to
twice.
check to check in. I wanted to show how we've allowed social media to blur our, vision of,
Sense
perception
of
versus,
reality,
yeah,
kind of,
perception
sort of, yeah.
versus reality, and also how we've detached from that real connection. And so that's essentially what Scroll Food is about. I got the
So
that's where the title came from, because he's scrolling on
good.
his
Doom
phone.
scrolling.
Yeah, doom scrolling, and he's feeding his mind with all this negative stuff.
Yes.
And so after I wrote the script, I wrote it, I think, in like a week, and then immediately I was like, oh my god, I got to shoot this, and everybody was at home and not really doing anything, so it was like, okay, let me start making some phone calls. Called a few director friends of mine that I knew, sent them the script. They loved it. They wanted to do it, but for whatever reason, never came about.
Mhm.
And then I kind of sat on it.
Mhm.
About a year later, after the restrictions had
Lifted.
risen,
Mhm.
lifted, and everybody had kind of went back to work, I was working on a show, and one of my longtime friends slash mentors were sitting in the office having a conversation about just kind of getting off the hamster wheel and not waiting to for opportunities to come our way to create our own opportunities. And so I mentioned to her about a script that I had written, and it was Scroll Food. And she was like, she's like, really? Oh, I didn't know you know how to write. She was like, I'd love to read it and check it out. She's like, send it to me. So I sent it to her, and the next day she came into work and she was like, "Oh my God, David." She was like, "This is amazing." She was like, "I had no idea you knew how to write. I want to produce this. Let's do it."
I love that.
And
Oh my
and
god.
when she said that, shout out to Natasha Parker, aka Natasha Ogeen. Um, you know, once she told me that, I knew it was off to the races.
She
And
put
sure
some
enough,
fire
yeah,
under your belt. So it's
yeah.
good to have a great support system.
Absolutely, absolutely. Soon as she said that, she immediately started calling, putting together a team, and next thing I know, we were having Zoom meetings about how we were going to get this thing shot. Now, fast forward, it didn't happen right away. You gotta, you gotta have patience with this
Right,
thing. Everything,
right.
especially in the film business, is hurry up and wait. We had to pump the brakes on it once we kind of got going. Do we just had to like reconfigure some things and figure
Mhm.
out how we were going to shoot it. Because it wasn't a difficult task, other than I wanted to use a lot of video images and clips, and
Yeah,
so
I
that
remember
would
after he went downstairs, I remember that
yeah. So it
scene.
was like trying to get clearances for all of that. We had to
Mhm.
kind of like figure all of that out. So we took a step back. We put a pause on it. I was disappointed for a little bit, but again, you know, once she said she was going to do it, she was going to do it.
Mhm.
A year went by.
Holy hell.
The writer strike happened, and this was right before the actor strike happened. So it was like right in that window between the writer strike starting and the actor strike about to happen. She came to me. I think we were just wrapping up on a show, and she was like, "Okay, you ready to start on filming Scroll Food?" And I was
Yeah.
like,
Thank goodness for her. Thank
now?"
God, Allah, Yahweh,
She was
Buddha,
like,
everybody.
she was like, "Yeah, yeah, it's the perfect time."
Mhm.
So she called up a lot of the same people, and yeah, everybody was ready to go, and we immediately started filming. And it was a 2-day shoot. We did it at my place, and I did a Indiegogo campaign to raise funds for the post production of it,
Mhm.
the sound design and the editing. We got that done, and by the end of the year, film was in the can. And then I started that January hitting the film festivals.
Yeah, and that's where I saw it at the Midwest Film Festival. Shout out to the Midwest Film
Yep.
Festival. Got to get NK in here,
NK
although I
Gutierrez,
know she has her own
but
podcast, but you need to be in here anyway. It is such a powerful film, and I love it because I'm in the field of mental health, but also I think in the Black community, we don't talk about mental health enough.
yeah,
We minimize it and just like, this is a struggle, this is what it's like.
yeah,
And unfortunately, more people their mental health is deteriorating, especially with the current events. And this isn't a political podcast at all,
yeah.
but I'm just curious, is it even more relevant now given the nature of this current administration? He who shall not be named.
Yeah,
They've just announced Bad Bunny as a Super Bowl,
yeah, yeah,
as a Super
yeah,
Bowl headliner, and people are losing their
yeah.
minds.
Listen, it's super relevant now because I am not necessarily in the same headspace that I was back during the pandemic.
Hmm.
However, I feel like I'm almost having a moment of deja vu because there wasn't I feel like during that administration and during the same administration, there wasn't a moment of peace. Like literally every day,
Yes.
I'm opening my social media, and I subscribe to some of these different I'll just say more liberal leaning um sites and pages, but everything every time I open my phone, it's like breaking news, breaking news, breaking news, breaking news. And it's just like, can I get a break on the breaking
No,
news? It's like you
no,
you can't.
you
So
cannot.
it's like you have to counteract all of that by either just completely shutting it off or just balancing it, because otherwise you will lose your mind. And I think that's part of what the point of it is, chaos.
Yeah.
So, and again, I'm not gonna, get too deep and political on you, but yeah, I think it's a film like Scroll Food is even more relevant today in today's climate.
I think even more people can relate to feeling like that because you had a win for Puerto Ricans
Yeah.
in America. Puerto Ricans are Americans, BT
Yes.
dubs, but you had a win for Puerto Ricans. Like, hey, Bad Bunny. If you like Bad Bunny, and you don't have to be Puerto Rican to like him,
Yeah.
but then I made the mistake of looking at my Yahoo News, I know it's
Yeah.
not a credible source, but I looked at Yahoo News, and now they're saying that the administration is going to send ICE to the Super Bowl
Yeah.
because they expect a large Latin population and they want to detain these folks. And I'm like, this is just inherently racist,
Yeah.
and that's as a black man, because I don't know what it feels like to be a black man. I know what it feels like to be a black woman. As a black man, is it? Do you experience like racism more often? Do you think compared to? I know you and I'm gonna call her Mia. Because
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
know her as
Yeah.
a different, I'm not going to
Yeah.
put her government name out there, but your wife is a
Yeah.
sweetie pie,
Like.
way sweeter than I. Uh, I'm sure you all have great conversations. Do you feel like, as a black man, it's even more difficult in America right now or in the film industry as a whole because the way society kind of immediately sees you as a threat? And I really want to know, like, at what point do we stop seeing the little black children or little black teenagers, and then they become just a threat? People are threatened by the average black man.
Yeah, well, it's always funny because one of the phrases I've heard more during this time period, which I think is so on point, is how every what is it? Every accusation is a confession,
Mm.
and what that essentially means is that everything that's being projected on us, like as far as like, oh, the black man is one of the most dangerous people in the world, or is doing all this shooting and blah blah blah. All these projections
Hmm.
are you know that person projecting who they are
Absolutely.
onto someone else. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Take that how you want to take it, but um,
They're gonna be
I
like,
mean, perfect example. I mean, look at what's going on right now. I mean, we literally just yesterday had tank. Well, not quite tanks, but still like unmarked vehicles and stuff pulling up in the hood, terrorizing people at 2, 3 in the morning. Raiding w- for what? You know, what that's aggression, that's violence, that's being perpetrated on people who are not criminals. It's just people who look different from
hmm,
other people.
right.
But you want to say that we're the violent ones,
It makes no sense. Black men are not on the Epstein list that won't be released. Black men aren't
yeah,
terrorizing brown
yeah,
folks at Alcatraz or alligator Alcatraz. So it just makes no sense to
yeah.
me. But I think that when it's all said and done, when and if this ends, the art that archives all this, it's going to be great. Like
Yeah,
another film,
yeah.
another movie, just archiving all these atrocities.
I'll give you another example that relates to film and an incident that happened to me um maybe about a year or two ago.
Hmm.
So, as a location scout, I have to go to different, neighborhoods, and sometimes I go to residential neighborhoods. Sometimes I, go visit commercial properties.
Hmm.
So I went to, an affluent, Caucasian neighborhood on the in the north suburbs, and typically what we do is I don't. Everybody has their own methods of scouting. So we get letters from from the Illinois Film Office, and we leave them on people's doors that basically break down, what it is we're looking to do. Hey, are you interested in having your place considered for a filming location?
Hmm.
If so, contact this person. Or if you have any questions about the validity of this, so you don't think it's just some random crazy
Scam.
guy
Right. Right.
coming to your house. Call the film office to verify this request, right?
Right. It's a legitimate request. Right.
So I went to a house because we were looking for like an upscale house in a suburban neighborhood. So I went to this one house. I left. I tried to leave the leaflet on the door, and I typically just walk away. If people see it, throw it in the garbage. Fine. If they
But you've
call,
done your due diligence.
yeah,
Right.
yeah. Sometimes they'll call just to get more information before they make a decision or whatever. So I was leaving a leaflet, and uh, a lady had answered the ring camera
Mhm.
as I was leaving it, and she asked, what I was doing, and I explained. I was like, "Oh, hey, I'm a film and television location scout. I'm working on this show. We're looking for a home for filming. I wanted to see if you might be interested. I was just going to leave this on your door. Take a look at it, and then give me a call if you're interested." She was like, "Oh, can you leave it in the mailbox?" Now, typically, we're not supposed to leave the leaflets in the mailbox, but since she directed me to do that, I was like, "Yeah, that's fine."
Mhm.
So I dropped it in the mailbox, and then I went on my way. I went to go get lunch in the area, and maybe about a half hour later, I get a call from the police department of that neighborhood. And he basically was saying that, yeah, we got a call that you were soliciting and, doing this. And it turned into like this whole thing. And it was just like, first of all, when you're scouting, it's not solicitation. It's,
And it
y-
brings tax dollars
yeah,
in
it
that
brings
pay
tax
their
dollars in.
salaries.
Right.
Wow.
And it's upon the person if they want to, be involved or not.
Right.
So it's not like you're, coming to ask for money. You're literally presenting an opportunity for them to
Right.
make money.
Right.
So, I say that to say a lot of it was based in, prejudice.
Not here, not in America. No way.
But those are the types of things though, like I always think about, you know, um, and again, it's about that projection. It's like, okay, you're worried about this, black man coming up to your door, but I'm just as concerned about, getting pulled over
Or getting
or getting, shot
shot. Yeah.
because I'm just trying to do my job.
Hmm.
So those are the types of things, as a black man that definitely are always on my mind and have to deal with.
And I'm just tense because I'm like, I knew she called. I
Yeah.
knew she called the police, because they see you, they see your skin color, they see me, they see my skin color, and it's criminalization.
Yeah.
It wasn't a lady that answered; it was a
Yeah.
Karen. They don't like that term. It was a Karen, and it's really sad because you just assume the worst.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you saw this on social media, but same thing happened. A young man took his sister to prom, went to Waffle House, and I loved Waffle House prior to hearing this. They called the police on him. It happened in North Carolina, and someone has a video of the police that's like walking up, choking this young man. He
Wow.
did nothing, but
Wow.
it's still happening. And I
Yeah.
think that because we are in this really sensitive political time, it's emboldening people to
Sure.
like just do things that you wouldn't normally do.
Yeah.
You shouldn't choke anybody, but you definitely shouldn't choke as a police officer.
Yeah.
You should be trained on how to deal with
Yeah.
real threats.
Yeah.
So it's just a really sad time. It's detrimental to your mental health.
Yeah.
So how do you say sane? I know your wife said, "Am I coming back to the bar method?" So I'm assuming maybe you work out as well. But what do you do
Mm.
when you have those rough days and you don't want to let the rough days win? How do you cope with the stressors of
Yeah,
your job?
especially in my older age now, I just enjoy
We're not
peaceful,
saying that. We're
quiet.
not saying that. We're not saying older age.
I just enjoy peaceful, quiet time at home these days. So like, I still play video games. I'm on my PlayStation
Ooh.
5.
Okay.
I ride my Peloton. I listen to music. I watch a funny show. Those are the things I do that kind of bring me peace and an escape from the world, if you will. Which is also why I like to act and be creative. Those spaces give me an opportunity to get away from all this madness for just a little bit.
And you are in all of the spaces because I know you're finishing the work that your mom started with the book.
Yes.
You're on stage.
Yeah.
You're on screen.
Yeah.
You're in these affluent neighborhoods that are going to call the police on you. What don't you do, number one? And
Nah.
two, out of all those little vignettes of the business, which one is your favorite?
Um, well, I'll start with what I don't do. I'm not a huge I've never been an athletic person. So I
But
don't
you have a Peloton.
I have a Peloton. That's about the extent of my, extent of my athleticism. Like yeah, like I'm a terrible basketball player.
What?
I used to play baseball when I was younger, but I tried out for it in high school but didn't make the team.
Oh.
Um, but but yeah, so I'm not a very athletic person. I'm not a very like super adventurous person. I don't like skydive or
Yeah, I
any
gathered that when you're like, I like to stay at home and,
yeah,
and play my
yeah,
PlayStation
yeah,
5. Like, I
yeah,
didn't
yeah. I'm
take
not
you for that.
yeah. But I do like to travel. But yeah, as far as like what's my favorite part, I don't know if I have a favorite part. I mean,
Hmm.
I'll say this. Um, I consider like the location scouting my like my 9 to 5, my bread and butter. So, that's what kind of pays the bills.
Hmm.
Acting, I love it. I get a little money from that too, but it's it's usually a little money. So it's not, um, I do it for the love. It's not so much for
Hmm.
the check with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, um, so yeah, I would say maybe from that kind of standpoint, maybe the acting a little more.
Acting is pretty cool.
Yeah.
You could have cast yourself in Scroll Food. Well, I'm curious as to why you chose not
You
to.
know what? It's funny you bring that up because I don't think I've either never talked about it or I haven't talked about that in a while, but I actually was intending to play the lead role. I had
Hmm.
written it for myself.
Okay.
I decided not to because the material was so heavy and I was so close to it.
Okay.
Um, I I didn't want to go back in that space so soon,
Hmm.
and I was like, I feel like I need to bring somebody in to do this, and Brian Keys nailed it. We did an actual casting call. I think we had like we only saw about 6 actors.
Okay.
We did a casting call over at the acting studio Chicago, right next to where Pascal Rudnick is, and so um, they came in and we narrowed it down to 3,
Okay.
and it was a tough decision,
Like the
but
red balloon
yeah, yeah.
episodes.
Yeah,
Pretty
yeah,
intense.
yeah. But
Okay,
Brian,
what stood out and what stood out about his audition? Because he drew me in. Like I believed I was
yeah,
there with him. It opened up. He's
yeah,
in the bed grabbing his phone, and I'm just like laying with him. He's like,
yeah,
"No, put it down. Don't do it."
yeah.
What stood out about his audition?
I feel like he just brought the right amount of emotion. I think like because it was tough. Like I said, we narrowed it down to 3. All of them were really good, but then it was Brian and there was another guy, and they were like kind of neck and neck. But I think Brian edged them out just a little bit because he
Well,
just brought that
obviously, he
emotion.
got the
Yeah,
cast right. He got
yeah,
cast.
he brought that emotion, and then like when we shot, the scene in there where he's like breaking down or whatever, like literally every time he delivered it like flawlessly, and
Wow.
I was like, it's one thing to be able to cry on cue, but to just bring that type of emotion and make it feel real and not mechanic. That's
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 skill.
an art.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that's definitely talent.
yeah.
You can't always buy a cry stick. I didn't know those existed,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
but they're on Amazon.
yeah, yeah.
But
I've
all
seen.
I do when
I've
I
looked
have
into those too. Yeah,
when I have to cry, I just think of my granny, and the
yeah,
tears start like
yeah,
flowing, and I hate that, but also I love it because she did mean a lot to me, as your mom meant a whole lot to you.
yeah,
Can you tell us about the book? Tell us about the book.
yeah. So my mom was a long time successful Chicago playwright, and she had come up with this idea for a book. Might have been before I was born, actually. It was called Adesella. It was a sci-fi young adult fantasy book about this young princess from this planet called Nar, and she wanted to bring a whole hip hop element into it. So I think
Mhm.
at the time she wrote it, that part wasn't really a part of it.
Okay.
But she was good friends with this brother named Matthew Robinson, who's actually Holly Robinson's dad, who passed away years ago. He was
Mhm.
a writer on The Cosby Show,
Mhm.
and he was also the original Gordon on Sesame Street. So
Oh,
yeah,
I
him
know
and
that dude.
yeah,
Okay, yeah.
yeah. So the original Gordon, not the bald head one, but
Oh,
the
okay.
but the
So
one
no,
from
I
like
don't.
yeah.
No, I don't know this dude.
But my mom was friends with him, and I guess she had written like an original thing of Adesella and presented it to him, and he told her that she should do it as a radio serial. It's like
Hmm.
back in the days they used to do
Yeah.
like radio
Yeah.
programs or whatever. And so I think she had initially was developing it as that.
Mhm.
And so fast forward years later, she decided she wanted to turn it into a book, and so she asked me to assist with it. And then that's when she wanted to bring in the whole hip hop element to it, and bring about how this hip hop group teams up with Adesella to fight off these forces, which are kind of similar to the forces we're dealing with today.
What do you mean? Everything is great.
But hip hop is kind of used as a running theme throughout the book, both as a creative theme, but also as a superpower. And so it's a really cool book. But we came together and wrote it some years ago. We self published it, and it
Mhm.
was built to be kind of like a series, kind of like Harry Potter.
Ah.
And so we put the first book out,
Mhm.
and then we decided to start writing the second one. Obviously, we never got to finish it because she passed, but I wanted to continue on the legacy of that book. So I've started writing it, writing the second one. I'm about halfway through, but writing a book
Well,
is
look over here.
super difficult to me. You know, maybe not everybody, but for me, speaking for myself,
Hey, you could just put in AI and be like,
yeah, I
"Hey,
know.
hey,
And
Bessie,
yeah, yeah. Now I
how
will
does this
say
work?"
I did use AI to help me kind of outline how I
Each
wanted
book.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, how I wanted to do the book, but I haven't really used it quite yet. So
Mhm.
it put together a great outline for me to
Okay.
kind of give me direction where to go.
Yeah.
I haven't really implemented it yet because I already had an idea of where I wanted the story to go, but I will be utilizing some of those suggestions as far as what the outline gave me.
Yeah. I
But I just don't. I
I
just
know
feel like,
people like, are you a real artist if you're using
yeah,
AI? And at time of recording, Tilly Norwood, who's the
yes,
AI
actress,
actress,
yeah,
has just been introduced to the world.
she's got an agent, right?
Does she?
I believe so. Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah. I think an agent just signed her.
but how does
Well, it's just like
so
the
when they send the check and the agent gets the 20%, how does AI spend spend that?
um,
That's really
yeah,
wow.
yeah. So
I too will be Tilly
yeah.
Norwood's
But
agent.
that's where we are right now. But I feel like AI definitely has its places. I just to a certain degree, I feel like you're cheating yourself and people of an experience of an authentic experience if you just let it do everything.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If obviously there's things now where you can create a whole script and storyline
Mhm.
and then feed that into the AI and then it'll create all the imagery for you. I'm not necessarily opposed fully to that
I
only
don't like
because
storyboards, so I probably would. But
yeah,
yeah.
only because I think we're at a time now where we're getting to a point now there's this platform I forget the name of it but they're I think looking to become like the first streaming type site where that is solely by creators who basically want to see whatever they want to see and create it themselves.
Mhm.
So you go in and you type in all these prompts and you basically can create your own
Hmm.
show and
Really?
yeah, yeah. I got the name of it on
I
tip of my tongue,
Robot.
but
Well, it doesn't sound like it's Pick Squid. Shout out to Pick Squid.
yeah, no,
Doesn't
it's
sound
not
like
that
it's
one.
Pick Squid.
Yeah.
But
But yeah,
Your
I think that's
platform.
kind of where things are headed. It's like, you know, when I was a kid, they used to have these books called Choose Your Own Adventure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, where you read and then you kind of
Those were
decide whether.
fun.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
I
were.
remember those.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
were.
those were fun.
So, you know,
Those were fun.
yeah,
Encyclopedia Brown had a couple of them, I
yeah.
think, and those were fun. So what's next for you? What's your next passion project? And don't say barbershop because
Nah,
that's gonna
nah.
start filming next month, and that's just that's
Yeah,
not your work. But
yeah.
what is your next passion project?
Um, Really, it's just the book, Out of Cellar, the second version. That's kind of where my focus is right now.
Mm-hmm.
I had also during the pandemic, I had started writing a web series that I did about 4 or 5 episodes of, that I still intend on finishing. It's kind of like I call it. I'm a
You have
huge
so many
fan.
irons in the fire.
I'm a huge fan of Curb Your Enthusiasm, so
Mm-hmm.
I'm calling this like my Black Curb Your Enthusiasm.
The Blairy, your Blairy David,
Yeah, Larry David, Larry
Black
David
Larry.
Leonard. Yeah,
And aren't you in a web series with Cynthia K. McWilliams?
yeah. Shout out to
Shout
Cynthia.
out to
Yeah,
Cynthia.
yeah. Amazing actress.
Gotta get her
Yeah,
in here too. I know she
yeah,
has her little. I'm
yeah.
not even gonna minimize it. She has a fabulous podcast
Yes,
studio
yes.
at Sin
Sin City
City.
Productions.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just yeah, she just contacted me about a role in a new web series she's doing called Messy Lola. So looking forward to doing that. And
Congrats.
yeah, I won't say who just in case, but I did a commercial that
Yeah, you
should
can say.
yeah, yeah, I did a commercial that should hopefully be airing this in during the Halloween season. I'll say that. Can I say that?
Can you? We'll
Yeah.
hold it until after. We don't want to get in any trouble. We
All
don't.
right.
We don't want
All
any
right.
smoke.
Right.
I think that's wonderful. You're active both in front and behind the camera,
Yeah.
and so you have had an extensive and variegated career. You've done a lot of cool things. So if you had to go back in time and tell 10-year-old Dave
Oh, 10-year-old.
some advice, you have to give him some advice about the industry. What would you have told your younger self?
uh, I would have told myself to take more risks,
Hmm.
to uh, not worry about what everybody thinks. Um, just go for it. Sky's the limit. Bet on yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've done some great things, and have had an amazing life. Um, but I think I would have probably not held myself back as much.
Okay.
I definitely feel in my younger years I was a lot more hungry and a lot more, willing to step out. But I've always
But now you're
been,
staying home playing
but,
playing the
but
PlayStation.
right, but I've always been a shy kid.
Mm-hmm.
So I think some of that held me back a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but but I don't necessarily have any regrets. I'm just saying that's the advice I would have given my younger
Yes.
self.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think the outcomes speak for
Yeah.
themselves, though, and you've done very, very well. And how we doing on time, DC? 45. So we're there. And I figured
Yeah.
we were there. Plus we have all this like ambient noise in the background. So one, I just thank you for coming back. Two, tell your wife hello.
Yeah.
Tell her no, I will not be killing myself at 6 a.m. I can't do that right now. But our method is the shit. I mean, that's why she has all
I've
the energy in the
I've
world.
actually attended a couple classes with her.
Oh, because they're gonna have Sweetest Day one where you can bring your boo.
Well, yeah, she was doing the challenges where you have to
Oh,
bring a guy,
yeah.
and so she talked me into going. I've gone like 3 times, and I hate it every time.
That burn, and you start shaking, and they're like,
Yeah.
"Stay in it." I'm like,
Uh,
"Screw you, lady! I'm dying."
yeah.
But yeah, that's important. That's a
Yeah.
good and healthy coping skill.
Yeah.
So we're gonna talk soon because I hope to be on set. I'm putting it out there in the universe. You told me this. You're like, claim it. I hope to be on barbershop's set
Yes.
because they need They need a rambunctious, sassy black character.
Right.
I am like the Chicago, like the stereotypical Chicago lady. So thank you for tuning in. You need to tell everybody how they can find you and all of your cool projects. What's your social media?
Yeah, do I need to look over here? Yeah, so you can you can find me on Instagram at that's what's his name. It's DATZWHATSHISNAME. That's a lot.
It's a.
Uh,
That's what she said.
I'm also on Blue Sky, but I don't remember my Blue Sky. And then on Facebook, David Leonard. So yeah, those are my
And
best.
and isn't there a separate one for Scroll Food?
Yes, on Instagram, you can follow Scroll Food at Scroll Food Movie on Instagram.
He said it so adamantly.
Yeah.
Make sure you check out Scroll Food Movie.
Oh, yeah.
Or else.
Oh, yeah. Scroll Food. I just want to mention Scroll Food recently got picked up by Revolt TV as well. So that's, yeah.
Oh, wait. That's my hair. That's awesome.
Yeah.
My hair. I'm having tumbleweeds all over the studio. So thank you so much for tuning in to the Thriving Artist Podcast. Thanks to David Leonard. Thanks to... Why do I not pronounce the D? There's a joke there. I'm going to let it go. David Leonard. That's what's his name. And it's phonetically spelled. And you'll never find it. So look for the Instagram post that I'll have, and I will tag him on it. And we will see you next time. Thank you to Cine City Studios and Stan and GC and Rob and Vince and Serena and all the wonderful people. Have a wonderful rest of your week, day, year, all of that. And we're done. And they're going to keep rolling.
Nice.
We'll have some B-roll, and the credits will be going.
Nice.
And we're here. So thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having me.